You believe this? The entire Israelites, all the tribe knew each other. We all grew up in the same projects. All the 12 tribes of Israel, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Men, women, and children. Old men, old women. Grandfather and grandmother. Aunts and uncle. All 12 tribes live in the projects, and we knew each other. This is how the Christian mind thinks. So Israel cannot be a stranger. How is this possible? This is in a distorted mind. But you got to realize it's an organized lie. Read on. So the caucus, you know what I'm saying? We should not touch.
They are unclean. They are unclean to you.
They are unclean to you, Israelites. It's unclean. Remember, we are a holy nation of people. You know what I'm saying? We are God's chosen people. We're not going to follow behind all these other nations. We're not going to do, no, we got protocols. You know what I mean? You serve the living God. That's who you serve. You know what I'm saying? The Mexicans serve the living God. The Dominicans serve the living God. And you know what that living God said? You cannot eat pork. Not only you cannot eat pork, you can't even touch the carcass of a pig. It's unclean to you. Because you're a holy nation of people. Now, if you follow, you know what I'm saying? If you follow my laws, if we follow God's laws, we become powerful. That's what happens. We become powerful. You could drop that, priest. You can drop that. Matter of fact, so let me see here. Oh, go back to Romans. Go back to Romans chapter 15, verse 4.
Come on, come. Romans chapter 15, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So what was our learning in the law? Because we had to go to that foretime, priest,
right? And
we had to read about, because our brother in Rome, guess what Paul had to do? He had to go to that foretime,
right?
And he had to have he had to teach law class.
Right.
He had to teach law class, and he went to Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 1 down to what? Down to 7. And he read down there. He said, brothers and sisters, we are scattered, but we are still God's chosen people, and we still have requirements that we, you know what I'm saying, for us being God's chosen people. I know we're amongst these Romans. I know we're amongst these people. These, you know what I mean, these people who do not follow, you know what I'm saying, our God's laws. And they serving pig and swine and all these unclean beasts. That's, you know, and I know that we grew up eating these unclean beasts. But that's the reason why I'm here. To bring you back into the fold. So you don't act like these other nation of people, because we are a holy nation of people. So now, if you did not know, you have to stop eating pork.
Right.
Swine is not food. Bison is food. Lamb is food. That's food. Sheep is food. That's food to us.
Right.
This unclean animal, it's not food. It's not food to us, God's chosen people. It's not food to Israelites. That was scattered, so now I'm bringing y'all back into the fold. Now by this, you know what I'm saying? Now by this information that I'm teaching you, that I'm teaching my brothers and sisters, we have to, you know what I mean? obeying God's laws will give us power so we don't be scattered anymore. And by this act, you know what I mean? By this act, it's not going to be overnight, but by this one act, the empowerment starts. Don't we want that, Israelites? This is the first step to power. The first step. Even in Israelites' history, you know what I'm saying? A mother and her sons was unalive because they refused to eat pork. Refuse it. That's Israel. You know what I'm saying? That's Israelites' history. That's Israelites' history. We refuse to eat pork. We refuse to eat this unclean thing. Unclean thing. And we, you know what I'm saying? And we willing to put our life on the line about that.
Culture.
That's our culture, yes. Because our culture is what? The law of God. That's the culture. That's the culture. Our culture is what? The law of God. That's the culture. You know what I'm saying? Leviticus. That's our culture, the law of God. That's our power, the laws of God. Countless time all through the, you know what I mean? All through the Bible, that's what it's talking about. We break the law, we get punished. When we don't break the law, we get rewarded. That's what happens. That's what the Most High God says. Whatsoever things was written aforetime was written for our learning. That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, through patience, because now we have to you know what I'm saying, be retaught. You know what I'm saying? Be retaught of the scriptures. So we have to be patient. Not only with the scriptures, we have to be patient with ourselves. Because we in the belly of the goddamn beast.
Right.
This is what's going on. We in the belly of the beast. We didn't grow, you know what I mean? We didn't grow up in the law like Paul did. So now you know what I mean? So now Paul is being patient. And in that patience and comfort of, you know, the comfort of the scriptures, you know what that comfort is? Yo, I thought I was a Mexican.
Right.
I didn't even know that I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm God's chosen people. I'm the people of the book. I'm an Israelite. I thought I was a disgusting Mexican. I thought I was a heathen. I thought that wasn't my book. I thought I was, you know what I mean? I thought the people that gave me Catholicism or being a Catholic that taught me the book, I thought they was the people of the book. And my people was over there swinging on trees. Over here swinging on trees and being a savage. I did not know I'm part of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
I did not know that pig wasn't food. I didn't know that. Oh, now patience and comfort. You see how that comfort now, comfortability in the scriptures. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now we're being like Neo in the Matrix. We see the zeros and ones and we see the Matrix. Now we understand when we hear a bunch of hogwash that somebody's speaking out their goddamn mouth about the Bible. We know that no. Where did you get that from? That's the first question we would ask. Who taught you that? Where you get that from? Same way I did not know not eating pork. I thought that was only the 5% in Islam. Everybody thought that, right, priest?
Right.
Everybody thought that. Well, you knew better than me. You know what I mean? You knew better than me. You know what I'm saying? You knew this truth longer than me. I'm talking about like in the past, in the 90s. I didn't know nothing about that. I just knew the 5%ers. I knew about the Israelites, but I you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, this is just another Christianity. I didn't know Christianity is supposed to teach you not to eat pork. And that's what God says. And I didn't know that's what the Muslim got that from the Israelites. learned it from. But Islam have a with a safety switch on there. Oh yeah, if you know what I'm saying, if it's the only thing for you to eat to sustain your life, eat the pork. This is Islam right here. So they don't really how can I say it? They still look at pork as food. Even though the Elijah Muhammad talking about, oh no, you ain't supposed to eat pork. No, if you come on, it says it right there in your Quran. If it's nothing there and you have to sustain your life, you will eat that pork with the worm in it. You won't fast, and you know what I'm saying? You won't fast, and you know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? And suffer like the Lord. Do you really love your God? Do you really love your God? So when you come into this, you know, prepare yourself for temptation.
Right.
That's what the Lord. That's why the Lord is there. That's how I feel safe right there. If we get jammed up, let's think about the Lord. Let's think about His laws. That we, through the patience and comfort of the Scripture, might have hope. That's our hope. To get the, you know what I'm saying, to get the comfort, you know what I'm saying, to get the breakdowns of the Scripture. To come back into the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? Drop that. Go to Mark chapter 3, verse 27.
Huh.
We have the written, you know what I'm saying? It was written the 4th time, it was written for our learning. We got to read these 4 times laws. Oh, before you read Mark chapter 3, verse 27, let's go to, I just had it. Matter of fact, go to Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. Matter of fact, let's go to, should I read that one? Matter of fact, no, I don't want that. Go back to Matthew. I don't want that. Yeah, I mean, not Matthew, Mark, Mark chapter 3, verse 27.
Huh. Mark chapter 3, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
Say that again.
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
No man can enter into a strong man's house. How a strong man in a person's house, in a man's house, how can he be strong? Because it said, no man can enter into a strong man's house. So how can you enter into a strong man's house? What that man got to do to be strong? Darren, what do that man got to do to be strong? Yeah, and not only that, that's what he's doing, but what do he have to do to be strong? He had to train himself up. He had to always do it. The more you do it, the more stronger you get, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I mean? Not, oh, we gotta be saturated in that strength. The strength is the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? That strength is also Yahushua Mashiach will be an example how to be strong. How to be strong. And guess what? For us to be strong, what we got to do? We have to go about training. We have to have some good training. You know what I mean? We have to have good trainers. Right? That's what we have to have, good trainers, so we can be strong in our house. Because ain't nobody gonna run up Ain't nobody going to run up in a Delta Force member's house and knowing he's part of Delta Force. Huh? When the last time you heard a, you know what I'm saying, a Navy SEAL's house got robbed? This is how we have to be in our house. Well, guess what? Our house is on the plantation. Our house is surrounded by hoarder and whoremongers. Our house is surrounded by drugs and drug dealers. Our house is surrounded by pork. Our house is surrounded, you know what I'm saying, surrounded about with no shame. That's what, you know what I'm saying, that's what our house is. We surrounded in that. So it says, no man can enter into a strong man's house. No man, you know what I mean? If you're strong, nobody can enter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what a person say. In your house, pork is not food. In your house, there should not be no door. There should not be no whores of the daughter of Israel. We're going to get that in a second. That's a strong man's house right there. Because the strong man going to teach his daughters and sons not to be a whore and not to be a sodomite. That's a strong man's house.
Right.
And that sons and daughter is trained up. It's trained up in the scriptures. So they look at, you know what I mean? They look at something, oh, that's unclean. That's an unclean act. How she's dressing, that's unclean. Why is she going to disrespect her father that? I know my father, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my father's house. So I'm going to make sure that I'm dressed appropriate. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure I dress appropriate.
Right.
Because, I'll give you a prime example. And you know what I mean? And a lot of people get caught up. The daughter, you know what I mean? The father's at work. The father's at work. Daughter just came, you know what I mean? Just got out of school. She jumped in the shower. You know what I mean? Cleaning, you know what I mean? She washing up in the shower, right? It's 2:00 in the afternoon. Her pops don't come home until like 7 from work. Oh yeah, she got out the shower, you know what I'm saying? She dry herself off. You know what I mean? Dry herself off, got the towel. Got a towel on. She's the only one in the house by herself. She's the only one in the house by herself. You know what I'm saying? What do you think that she's gonna do? She's gonna put the towel on and walk through the house to get to her room to get dressed. Am I right? Because pops don't come home until 7. You know what I mean? I'm in the house by myself or whatever. You know, I'm wash myself up there. I'm just gonna go to my room. I'm just gonna go to my room and get dressed. We can't think that way anymore. We can, you know what I mean? We being understanding and we got trained up. So we be considerate. You see what I'm saying, Priest? We be considerate. I'm not going to walk out with just, you know what I'm saying, with just a towel on and just go to my room and get dressed because there's a possibility that my pops could come home early. And what happened if he come home early? She's in the shower. She don't know her pops is home. Let's say pops, you know what I mean? Let's say pops is in the room, in the kitchen. Let's say pops is in the kitchen right now, you know what I mean? Looking, you know what I'm saying? Looking at his cell phone, drinking some water. She don't know her pops is there. She step out. He walked out the kitchen. Boom. He looking at her nakedness. A good daughter will get dressed in the bathroom. She will put on, you know what I mean, a casual gown. You know what I mean? Something that you can walk around the house with. Because she's mindful about, I don't want nobody to see my nakedness. She's mindful that anybody, anything can happen. She's considerate. This is in real time, priest. You do it all the time. Oh, let me run over here real quick. My room is right there. Let me run over here. Boom, your mother walk. Yo, what the hell's going on? Oh, I thought I was in the house by myself. My mistake. My bad. No, it is your bad. You're even supposed to walk around naked anyway. That's the consideration that we're supposed to have. Get dressed in the bathroom. Get your clothes. Get your sweatpants. Throw your sweatpants on after when you get out to shower. Throw your sweatpants on. Or get dressed in it. Or get dressed after when you take a shower. This is where we have to think. This is that strong man's house. This is where it won't be no accidents in that strong man's house. Because why? Everybody's thinking about each other. Everybody's on one accord. Everybody's what? Following God's laws. Read on.
Except he will first bind a strong man.
So it said, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods. So we say spoil, which means to destroy. Destroy his daughter. Destroy his son. How is this possible? His sons and daughters are not going to be destroyed because they, They a strong man raised them up. A strong man taught them about shame. A strong man taught them about considerate and honorable. The strong man taught them taught us about that. We are God's chosen people. We are a holy nation of people. This is how we conduct ourselves. This is how God's people conduct themselves. We have class. You know what I'm saying? We have class. This is who we are. This is who we are. So so the strong man's and spoil his goods. So the goods is not going to get spoiled. It's not going to be destroyed. Read on.
Oh God.
Except
he first bind the strong man.
Say that again.
Except he first bind the strong man.
So now we gotta bind up this strong man. Now we gotta, Now we gotta lie to this strong man. Now we gotta do any type of cunning to this strong man. Now we gotta feed him pork. Now we gotta, Now we gotta say to this strong man, God loves everybody.
We gotta get the Black, Hispanic, and Native man out the house.
We gotta get him out the house. He's too black and strong. You know what I'm saying? He too Israelite.
Right.
He too much of God's chosen people. Whatever that means. He too much, he too much follows the laws of God. Go ahead.
That's exactly what
Mm-hmm. I remember. No, not back in the day. Still to this day.
They still.
To this day, it's so overwhelming that Cordain, remember Cordain? It's still going on today. This is in real talk. It's still going on today. Section 8 coming to the house. You can't, This lady, she have a man. But you can, he cannot see no man living there. You don't want to mess up on Section 8. This is real. This is in real time. And it's not, and there's other stuff too. Let's say a cousin. Let's say a cousin, live with the person who's on Section 8. The cousin cannot be there also. But they never did that to those broke ass farmer white people. They never did that. They kept the family together because they knew that, you know what I'm saying? They knew that, you know, they knew how, you know what I mean? They knew to have empathy for their own kind. Not one white woman, you know what I'm saying? They never said this to white women. And white women with the main benefit off of civil rights. White women. White women. You try to say all these white people who's on Section 8, you try to say there's no men in the household? Section 8, no, that's a man in the household? Go ahead.
Nobody broke up the Jewish man's house.
Oh, no, they tell you flat out, we don't work. And we on Section 8.
Right.
So what do you do? Oh, we just learn the Torah. So what's going on? Oh, no, we collect benefits. White people, curly fries on the side. The creme of the creme white people, Slocky, please. The little creme of the creme. Give me what's the time check?
It's 8:58.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So we're gonna most likely I want to do a part 2 because you know this is good. So it says no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man. You know what I'm saying? First lie and beat up this strong man. Read on.
One cup. Except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
Now his daughter is walking around the house naked. Now his son is walking around with his shirt off. Now the mother is walking around with pom-pom shorts on in front of her son and daughter. That's the spoil. They spoil you now.
Right.
They don't have no shame now. Nobody's saying, yo, let me get dressed in the bathroom. Let me make sure that my mother don't see my chest. Let me not walk around the house, you know what I'm saying, half naked. The goods are spoiled now. And you know how the goods is being spoiled? Because somebody say God's laws do not make you powerful. God's laws is powerful. Even if you string up that strong man, guess who's also strong in that house? The children. The children are strong now. You know what I mean? The children. The children remember what? Remember what the strong man taught.
Right.
That's, you know what I mean? That's when the part that ISUPK we're going to get to. Doesn't matter. We gone. But our children knows better. That's how they did slavery with us. Like us right here, we're the strong ones. We're the strong ones. And we say we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't believe in white Jesus. So our slave master unalive us. But our children don't know better. And the slave master taught our children what? White Jesus. And we ain't have time enough to teach our children how to be strong. That's how we have to get it to.
That's right.
Doesn't matter, they tie us up. My daughters still know that there's no whores of the daughter of Israel. There's no sodomites. Sodomites of the sons of Israel. Because they, you know what I mean? Because they remember. What was written aforetime was written for our learning. And in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17, there should not be no whores of the daughter of Israel.
Right.
Nor sodomites of the sons of Israel. This is what they know. This is what our children know. So once we know this will become powerful. You know what I'm saying? Israelites, obey God's laws. And what did it say? We become, what is it?
Israelites, obey God's law and become powerful.
And become powerful. Imagine if Cardi B, Sexy Red, obeyed Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. Completely different type of people. Completely different. It got to the point that you had the time when Sexy Red was getting interviewed, and she brought up that, you know what I mean, something happened to her in the past. She got abused in the past. The interviewers laughed. When did she get over that trauma? She wasn't born in a strong man's house. She wasn't born in that strong man's house. Now we don't have no consideration. You know what I'm saying? White Jesus teaches individuality. Christian church taught us individuality. Christian church taught us that you can't, that God's laws do not make us powerful. Because his laws is done away with. And only laws that stand by is white Jesus laws. Those laws. But we're gonna get back to this. We're gonna get back to, right now we have to do some school business, but we're gonna do a part 2 to this. I'm definitely gonna do a part 2. And then you can Priest, you like I said, you can always chime in, you know what I mean, all the time. The water, I truly appreciate it. So I'm gonna say, you know what I'm saying? Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Sharakat to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar Thumb Bashem to the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer Paratazar from ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started off at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior HARLEM. And since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called blacks, the so-called Native American Indians, the so-called, you know what I'm saying, the so-called Hispanics, that God's law, obey God's laws and become powerful. 1969. That's what we teach our people. That's God's laws. That's our culture. We are a holy nation of people. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Slowly but surely, we're going to get there, Prince. We will get there. Because what was written before time was written for our learning. And that's what we teach in ISUPK. And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer 1000 Sha'al.